Once, the mighty Sultan of Dubai decided to embark on a sea voyage with a few of his most trusted courtiers. It was a bright morning, the sky painted in soft blue strokes, and the sea lay calm like a sleeping giant. Excitement filled the air as the ship set sail. Everyone was thrilled, except one. Among the courtiers was a nobleman named Zion. Though high in status, he had never stepped foot on a ship before. As the land disappeared from view and the waves began to swell, Zion's courage vanished. His face turned pale, hands trembled, and soon panic gripped him like a vice. He began screaming, clutching the wooden deck in terror. "We're all going to die," he cried. His fear was wild and loud. No amount of calming words or comforting arms could soothe him. For 2 full days and nights, Zion neither ate nor slept. He wailed constantly. What was meant to be a joyful voyage became a nightmare. The crew was exhausted. The courtiers were irritated. The Sultan, once thrilled for his sea adventure, now sat worried and unsure. "Should we return to port?" he pondered. "His suffering has turned our joy into torment." Just then, a calm, elderly man named Idris, a simple scholar traveling as an observer, stepped forward. He bowed and said, "Your Highness, if you grant me permission to act in my own way, without questions or interference, I believe I can end this misery." Desperate and hopeful, the Sultan agreed. "Do what you must. And if you succeed, I will reward you beyond measure." Idris nodded, turned to the crew and said firmly, "Throw him into the sea." The sailors froze. Was this a joke? Idris repeated calmly, "It's the Sultan's order, and you have my word. Trust me." Reluctantly, the sailors obeyed. They grabbed the shrieking Zion and tossed him overboard into the cold, dark waters. The sea swallowed him. Moments passed. Then, Zion resurfaced, flailing, gasping, screaming even louder. His fear was no longer in his mind, it was now real. He sank again, then struggled back to the surface, the horror in his eyes raw and undeniable. He was no longer imagining death. He was fighting it. After a few terrifying moments, Idris shouted, "Pull him back up." The crew hauled him back onto the deck, soaked, trembling but alive. Something had changed. The man who once screamed at the gentle sway of the ship now clung to the deck like it was his savior. He whispered softly, "Thank God, solid wood." From that moment on, Zion remained calm. He ate. He slept. He even smiled. The sea was still the same, but his fear had been transformed. The rest of the journey was peaceful and filled with laughter beneath the golden sun. When the ship returned to port, the Sultan made sure to find Idris. "How did you know?" he asked. "That by throwing him into the sea, he would find peace?" Idris smiled a little sadly and looked out at the sea. "Because I once did the same, with my heart." He paused, his eyes reflecting the past. "Years ago I loved my wife deeply. But I was crippled by the fear of losing her. I clung to her so tightly that I suffocated her, with my anxiety, my doubts, my constant questions. Eventually she left me. That silence, that emptiness, it was my drowning. Only then did I realize how precious her presence was. I promised to change. And by God's grace, she returned." He turned back to the Sultan. "Some fears can only be understood when truly faced. Until Zion tasted the sea, he never knew the safety of the ship. Fear often grows larger in our imagination than it is in reality. When we avoid facing it, it controls us, causing panic, doubt, and emotional turmoil. But when we confront it head-on, we see it for what it truly is. It may shake us, but it also teaches us resilience, appreciation, and strength." The Sultan listened in silence, moved by the quiet power of the scholar's words. Just like Zion, who only realized the ship's safety after facing the terror of the sea, we, too, only learn to value stability after facing instability. Idris placed a gentle hand on the railing and concluded, "Sometimes life throws us into deep waters, not to drown us, but to teach us how to swim, and to remind us of the strength we never knew we had."